of baseball. So we have two, three, maybe more forms of baseball. Three come to mind at the moment. Baseball, which is played with a hard ball, softball, which is played with a bigger, softer ball, and then wiffle ball, which is played with a hollow ball. But those are wiffle ball and softball can be played indoors. Many adults, so now we're on the second here, many adults play amateur baseball or softball in leagues throughout the US. There are many professional teams that are part of the Major League Baseball teams or the league in America. And millions of adults worldwide enjoy watching baseball, either in person or on TV. Baseball is so popular throughout the US and other countries. These phrases that you're going to hear today, these phrases or idioms that are related to baseball, may be heard in everyday conversation, in business, on the street, and in universities. But like with other idioms, they are not found in professional writing or in journals. So we're going to watch the first short video, and this first video is going to be about explaining baseball, the actual sport, in just a few moments. Let's see. We don't like the ad, but here we go.
Hey everyone, this is Phil Ebener from videoschoolonline.com, and today we are going to be looking at how baseball works. And this is part of a complete course diving into how to watch baseball and how to become a fan of baseball and everything you need to know about how baseball works. But this is just a quick overview, and it might get a little crazy, but let's get straight to it. Okay, so the basic premise of the game is that you have two teams that each have 9 players, and whoever scores the most runs wins. So runs are like points. How is it set up? Well, the defense plays out in the field, and they are situated in the field like so. Now they can move around a little bit, but this is basically where they stand. You have your outfielders in the outfield, left field, center field, right field. Then you have your players in the infield. So first base, second base, third base, and shortstop in the middle between third base and second base. So that's another good point, is that this is first base, this is second base, this is third base, and this is home plate. Okay? So now that's the defense. The offense, one at a time, they go up to the plate, home plate, and they are trying to bat. They are trying to hit the ball into the field, and they are trying to get on base. So if they hit the ball, say they hit the ball into the field, they are able to run to first base. Okay? So they have to run to first base, touch first base, and then only after they touch first base, they can run to second base. And then after they touch second base to third, after they touch third base, they can go home. And if they get all the way to home, they score a run or a point. Okay? But it's not so easy, because while you're hitting the ball into the outfield, well, first of all, the pitcher is throwing 95 to 100 mile per hour fastballs past you, and it's really hard to hit. They throw balls that curve, that spin, that dip, duck, fly, curve, do crazy things. And so it's, first of all, it's hard to hit the ball. So they're trying to get you out. And if they get the ball past you at the right spot, or you swing and miss 3 times, that's an out. But say you do hit it in the outfield, the players are trying to catch the ball and then throw it to first base before you get there, or to whatever base that you are going to and they're trying to get the ball there before you. So either they get the ball to the base before you, or they tag you with the ball. So if they have the ball in their glove or in their hand, they can tag you with it and you are out. Now, there's lots of different rules that go into this, and there's different ways of getting people out. And it's not always the case that they just have to get the ball to the base before you, and then there will be an out. But that's
Okay, that's enough information on this video so that you can have the idea about baseball. So they're going to hit the ball, they're going to catch the ball, they're going to tag, or they're going to touch the base and keep going. Now, understand that that link is at the bottom of that particular slide. Okay, we'll go to the next one. And Swan, how are you for reading this one?
Idioms are widespread in sports. Baseball has been a widely popular sport. In the past, baseball games were broadcast over the radio without a visual aid. The announcer had to get across the action happening on the field. Shortcut phrases, idioms, and phrases developed over time to convey the complex plays happening during the baseball game. Families would be listening to the games as they were broadcast over the radio. The next day, the games would be discussed, and the phrases the announcers used were repeated over and over when discussing the game.
So this culture of listening to the game on the radio resulted in our parents and our grandparents discussing baseball and using these phrases that they heard on the radio over and over. So we grew up hearing these phrases repeated by our dads, sometimes by our moms, depending. Not all moms were thrilled about baseball, but many were. Next one, we'll start now with our idioms. All right. Tiet, are you able to read this one? I don't know if can you read
Yes,
this one?
yes, teacher.
Okay, give it a go.
President William Harrison, who during his campaign in 1840 has put
Huge, big, large.
factory for champion across from one speaking location to the next with the slogan ensures
Slogan,
all the way.
keep the
Slogan
ball
keep,
rolling.
keep the ball rolling with the anti to take the issue all the way to the president
Presidents.
office.
Okay.
Example, I think it will be easier to get
The ball rolling.
start the ball rolling, keep the ball rolling.
Okay. So this get the ball rolling, sometimes we think about it as related to baseball. Let's get the ball rolling. Um, but the actual origin was from a political campaign. Okay. And this political campaign was pretty intense when you think about rolling a monstrous ball 10 feet across, so that's like as big as a room, rolling it from one place to another. I mean, this is by hand. This is people walking behind this ball, getting this thing going, keeping this ball rolling. And so this ball rolling made a big impact. And that phrase, let's get the ball rolling, has made an impact and is still used, even though that campaign was back in, look at this, 1840, long, long time ago. All right, Swan, are you able to read this one? Step up to the plate.
Step up to the plate, meaning take a leading role for the efforts needed to accomplish a task, project, usually something that is difficult. Origin, baseball term, a batter steps close to the plate to take his position at bat when attempting to hit the baseball. Example, the company stepped up to the plate and paid for the first time and effort I put into cleaning up after the disaster. Related saying, step up, get into position.
So the player, here's a little boy who is on a little league team. The player comes up to position by the plate, and then the pitcher pitches the ball across the plate, and the player attempts to hit the ball. Okay, so the next thing that happens, or part of what is happening, is to pitch. So this is the pitcher, okay, and he is pitching, he is sending the ball in a dramatic way because he's a pitcher. He's pitching, throwing the ball over the plate. Okay, so Thiet, are you able to read this one? I'll go ahead and read this one. Pitch an idea, meaning to present an idea in a business setting it could be a new company slogan or a new product, an aggressive effort to get someone to buy something or to throw something or construct something. So pitch can mean throw or present or an aggressive effort. So origin from Old English, but now seems to be related to baseball. Example, we pitched our idea for a new product to the business leaders on Shark Tank TV show, but I don't think they liked it. So in America, the Shark Tank TV show is actually a group of investors, and different people come and they pitch an idea. They do a demonstration. They might talk about ways they've already used it. They might talk about where it's been sold already. And then the investors on Shark Tank choose whether or not they're going to invest in that product. So it's a dramatic reality show that has evolved over the years to many different pitches for business startup funds. Okay, pitch in. Swan, would you like to read this one?
Yes, pitch in, meaning help out when you were not going to do anything. Originally joined in and help out with the project, conversation, or task. Origin, baseball. Example, Dad wants everyone to pitch in to help clean up the backyard this weekend. We are getting ready for a big family celebration in 2 weeks. Related saying, joy forces, teamwork makes the dream work.
Okay, so pitch in is part of getting together, or throwing our work together. If you want to use pitch as a action word, we're going to put all of our work together to get something done. All of our efforts come together. Next one, right off the bat. Thiet, are you able to read this one? Is your internet working? Give it a try.
Start quickly or immediately without hesitation.
Good.
Or origin, referring to baseball, found and print and the 80s.
Good.
As the batter has to run immediately after the strikes the ball with the bat. Example, I knew we were going to get along well right off the bat. You have such a friendly smile.
Okay. And related saying.
Related saying, right
Yeah.
away or strike away.
Okay. And we have a short video to watch for that. So hold on one moment. And this is right off the bat.
Hello. Welcome to English in a Minute. So today's phrase, right off the bat. So what does this mean? That has nothing to do with like a baseball bat, but it means the start of something, or you begin something. So for example, right off the bat, when I moved to Vietnam, I had to find a place to live. The very, very beginning, I need somewhere to sleep. So it's right off the bat, look for a place to live. We've been working for, I think, about 1 year. We've been working together.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it has. It's been about a year now.
And right off the bat, I bet that we will make a really great team.
I would agree with you. So right off the bat, you knew that.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't know that right off the bat, but
Really?
I would agree with you now. I would agree with you now.
We're a great team.
I know.
High five.
So English in a Minute is a program that is supported by the Department of State here in America. They have a channel that has subtitles for almost every language. So there is a channel for Burmese, but the Burmese don't have the English in a Minute. They're just doing the news. So you can go to the Voice of America, VOA News, and you can hear the American announcer, and you can read the news in Burmese if you want to get that. That is another way to hear a native speaker speaking. All right, this next one is thrown a curveball, or throw a curveball, or I have been thrown a curveball. Swan, would you like to read this one?
Throw a curveball, meaning to do something unexpected or is it
Deceptive. Mm-hmm.
Deceptive that surprises, outwits, or confuses the other person, putting them at a disadvantage. Baseball origin, a curveball is the oldest breaking pitch in the baseball history, that being a ball thrown with the express purpose of bending or breaking across the strike zone. Hall of Fame pitcher Sandy Koufax made his career on the pitch, which is one of the hardest to hit. Example, your friend calls to say that he's been thrown a curveball and can't make the meeting tonight due to a train derailment.
Okay, so a curveball might come in. So this is the strike zone when you look at it on TV. The strike zone is what's approved. Okay, anything inside this box is good. All right. Now, a curveball seems like it's going to be good, but then dramatically drops. Okay. So that the player here, the hitter, thinks he is deceived by this pitch because he thinks it looks like it's right there where he should be able to hit it. And as he comes to hit it, that ball drops dramatically. Well, they don't necessarily know the curveball's coming because the way the pitcher holds the ball and throws the ball makes the ball do these funny little tricks. And the pitcher will get that ball in his hand, and meanwhile he's got that ball behind his back getting it in position, and they can't see that. Okay, next one, dropped the ball or drop the ball. And Tiet, are you able to read this?
Drop the ball, meaning bad mistake, not delivering the expected result. Origin from baseball, the term is counting on the player completing the base to catch the ball for a key or important play that may cause the team the win.
So we'll go ahead and look at the short video. And that is for drop the ball.
Welcome to English in a Minute. Many American English idioms come from popular U.S. sports like baseball, basketball, and football.
Drop the ball. Anna, what's wrong? You look upset.
I really dropped the ball. I forgot my great aunt was coming to town, and I was supposed to pick her up at the airport.
And you didn't. What happened?
She took a taxi, but she is never going to let me forget this. In a sport like baseball, dropping the ball instead of catching it can lead to poor results. As an idiom, to drop the ball means you failed to do something that was your responsibility. It can also mean to make a mistake at an important moment. And that's English in a Minute.
Okay, so English in these videos about the different idioms, you can find them on YouTube if you can get YouTube. It's a little bit harder to dig through them on the Learning English site, but they're very easy to find on the YouTube channel. So you put in English in a Minute and the idiom that you want to look up, and that will come up for you. It comes up very easily that way. The next slide, pinch hitter. Swan, would you like to read this one?
Sure. A pinch hitter, meaning a substitute put into the agenda or agenda.
Agenda. A substitute
agenda.
put into the agenda.
Agenda or order of the meeting at the last minute. Origin from baseball. When a team is up to bat, there is a designated order for the players to hit. The manager can change the order of the players when the ball is not in the active play. They may do this because the player coming up is injured or otherwise not the best player to put up at the bat at the time. Put up to
Yeah.
bat at the time. Example: Matt was put into the ejector at the last minute. The boss thought he could pitch it for Jay without sick.
Okay. So a pinch hitter is like a substitute teacher. Let's say your professor was sick and they needed to have a substitute. They would call for another professor, another teacher, or the teaching assistant to come and pinch hit for that professor that's out sick. And they might actually say that. We're asking Dave to come in and pinch hit for Dr. Haw because Dr. Haw is out sick. So the teaching assistant would come and teach the class. Okay, the next one, which is a little bit more involved. Now remember, there are 3 bases and a home plate. So back to that picture in your mind, that field diagram that we started with, all of those bases, those white squares out in the field, the player has to touch each one. And the opposing team that are trying to get him out, the opposing team has someone designated to cover that base and catch the ball and tag the player. Okay, Tiet, would you like to read this one?
Yes, I can. Covering all the base, meaning prepare for the possibility and training for um, foreskin problems or undesirable outcomes origin from baseball. There are 3 bases and a
So this is back to that diagram, those 3 bases and the home plate.
and a home place. The hitter has to touch each base in order to make their run count. The opposing team has a player assigned to each plate to catch the ball and have the player keeping the player from scoring.
Okay.
Example, I will cover all the base by hurrying to Sorbet College. That way I will make sure I get into one of the next semester.
Right.
Similar, it is a similar idea. Crossing
Right.
or the T
And dotting all the I's. Another one is don't leave any stone unturned. So these are other idioms that also mean prepare for all the possibilities. Look at all the details. So in other words, when we write out a word, when we're writing handwriting, we're writing a word and then we want to make sure that we cross that T, okay? So we want to cross that T and dot the I's or the little I's. And then when we're looking for things, we don't want to leave any stone unturned. So all of those idioms, those 2, also mean prepare for all the possibilities or cover all the bases. Swan, would you like to read Hit a Home Run?
Yes. Hit a home run, meaning accomplishing something big, a very successful project or presentation. Origin, baseball term, hitting the ball so that it was not caught by the opposite team. The hitter's team scores at least 1 point. By offense, many points as other players also around the bases scoring points. Example, it was great that we had the right research to hit a home run with our proposal. I think we will get the funding right away. Related sayings, hit it out of the park, knock it out of the park.
Okay. So I put another link down here at the bottom so that when you see this, you can copy and paste that and read some of the idioms that we've reviewed today. We have a few more left to go. Thank you, Swan. Knock it out of the park. So we talked about that and we saw a video on that last week. I'll read that very quickly. Knock it out of the park. So remember the story last week, when I was telling you about the baseball parks have not always been as big as they are today. Stadiums have gotten bigger, bigger, bigger as different sports have gotten more popular. So you'll even imagine that your soccer, the soccer stadiums now are so huge. Well, baseball stadiums didn't used to be this big. And when in the olden days, which very long time ago, there were some stadiums that were in the middle of neighborhoods where people actually lived across the street. And so hitting it out of the park might have actually happened, and that ball could have been hit into somebody's yard or into somebody's window. So hit it out of the park is a most excellent performance because that ball has left the stadium. It was hit so hard. So, a most excellent performance above and beyond expectations. The baseball origin, it was inspired by home runs, the massive blasts where the ball would soar over the outfield and out of the park. An example, following the completion of a successful project, your manager may call you out in the all hands meeting by saying, "You hit that out of the park." And that's a really exciting, that's an exciting meeting where you would have a lot of, clapping and people would say, "You did an awesome job," and so on. And again, this is another link where you can read. Now, this actual site is the Major League Baseball website with phrases from baseball. And the longest home run was Babe Ruth in 1921. So that's 100 years ago. And nobody's been able to catch him yet. All right. Next one. Swan, would you read this one?
Keep your eyes on the ball, meaning stay alert and keep focused on something that is important to you. Origin, from baseball, that is one of the first instructions a young baseball player will get. When taking a swing at the pitch or trying to catch the ball in the outfield, you have to keep your eyes on the ball. Example, while juggling a lot of projects and upcoming deadlines, your manager or a concerned teammate might tell you to focus on the most important part and keep your eyes on the ball. Similar phrase, keep your eyes peeled.
So that's kind of a funny phrase as well. Keep your eyes peeled. That really just basically means keep your eyes open. Okay. We'll go to this video, and that is keep your eye on the ball.
Welcome to English in a Minute. A lot of idioms in American English come from sports. Here's one that comes from baseball.
Keep your eye on the ball.
Let's learn how to use this expression when not talking about sports. Hey, Jonathan, how is your Arabic class going?
It's going okay. I'm not studying as much as I should be.
Jonathan, you had better keep your eye on the ball if you want to win that scholarship to study in Egypt. Study harder.
I know. You're right.
To keep your eye on the ball means to keep your attention on something important to you, usually to reach a goal. This idiom can be used in all situations. In our example, Anna tells Jonathan he needs to keep his eye on the ball if he wants to get a scholarship. And that's English in a minute.
Okay. So that's our video for keep your eye on the ball. Next one. Diet, would you like to read this one? Off base.
Yes, teacher. Off base, meaning mistaken or wrong, and
Unrealistic.
the ball then run into or full base to score a run or a point. If a player is cutting off base by an opposing player, they are considered out. They don't score a run or a point. Example, for him to blame his mom for this as rally of base, similar springs or boundaries.
Okay, so the player has to touch the base, and this guy's hand is not on the base, so he is off base. He's mistaken or wrong, and he's going to be out because he hasn't touched the base. So the player has to hit the ball and then run and touch all four bases. Usually they're touching the base with their foot, but sometimes they slide in order to get there faster. But anyway, if a player is caught, if they're caught off base by the opposing team, that opposing player, they're considered out, okay? And they're trying not to get out because there's only 3 outs allowed in each inning. They don't score a run or a point, and they've done a lot of work to get on that base, but when they're off base, they're not going to score. So out of bounds or off base are similar sayings, meaning the person is mistaken or wrong. All right, the next one, we go back to that diagram of the baseball field. All right, Swan, go ahead and read this one.
Out of left field, meaning very unusual or odd, from out of nowhere, unexpected or surprising. Origin: several disputed origins in baseball. The ball could be thrown to home plate from the left side of the field in the last effort to get a player out. Example: don't ask the new manager. He's out in the last field and doesn't know any answer yet. Similar saying: out of the blue, out of nowhere, without warning.
Okay, so again, the origin is kind of cloudy because some of the documentation says that it did come from baseball. Some of it alludes to a slang saying, a phrase way back when. But if we're going to use the baseball origin, this player here is out in left field, okay? And normally this player is going to hit like here. So he's going to hit in that area. When it comes back from left field, that's kind of unexpected because most of the time the ball is in this area, okay? So if it's coming from left field, it's way over here, And in the baseball origins, they were thinking about that there was a hospital that was right outside the baseball stadium. And some of the things that they would hear coming from left field were cries and different things coming from the hospital. So those disorienting or confused cries came from left field. And it was kind of unusual. It was weird. And they came out of nowhere and it was unexpected. So out of the blue, so it could be, out of the blue. Sometimes when you're looking into the sky without your sunglasses, something can fall, quote unquote, out of the blue, out of nowhere, without warning. So that alludes to the coming out of left field. So that's again back to the baseball diagram, and this would be left field. Okay, the next one, and this one is extremely popular. This is touch base. Tiet, would you like to read this one? Maybe? I'll go ahead and read this one then. So touch base. Touch base, remember that the player has to touch the base, and he's going around to all of these bases. He's going to have to touch first base, second base, and third base, and then he'll come to home plate and he'll have to touch home plate. So touching base is a way of checking in or talking about something very briefly. So the meaning is stopping by for a quick conversation for the purpose of getting up to date on progress of a project. Okay? The origin, so in baseball, like I just, showed you on the diagram, once the ball is hit, again, the hitter must touch every single base for just a moment before advancing to the next base. When rounding all the bases as fast as possible, the touch is not long or lingering. So it's not going to be very long. They're just going to touch it and go. The play stops when the ball has been caught or is thrown in advance to the player covering that base. I'll just go back to the diagram for a second. Here we go. So there's a player covering first base. The player covering second base a lot of times is trying to get somebody else out, so he runs over here. The third baseman is right on top of that one. The shortstop, who is right here, can cover here, cover there, go back out here. So this guy is doing a lot of running around, following up on a lot of different space, okay? And the pitcher catches all that stuff in the middle if he's able. Between him, the pitcher, and the shortstop, they should have this area covered. So touching base is a quick conversation. So often in business, the manager will make walking rounds. I will tell you that this is very, very popular to do. My boss at one of my jobs in the past, at one of the hospitals I used to work at, my boss would come to my office every single day just to touch base. He wanted to hear from me. How's it going? What's this I hear about such and such? Are you going to have such and such a report for me? I need it ready by 2 o'clock or whatever. And he would come by every day just to touch base. So that manager often makes walking rounds to touch base with the staff members that are working on special projects or just even to see everybody and to get a quick view on progress that is being made. You might also hear related sayings such as, I need to catch up with you. Now, both of these, touch base and catch up with you, I want you to know that you'll hear them in colleges and universities a lot because the professor's going to do a quick review. We're just going to touch base on a couple of things that we talked about earlier in the week. We're going to catch up with so and so and so and so on their project and how's it going. And if you have any problems, come see me. So these two phrases, catch up with you and touch base, are all over the